Aloha, I'm Buck Schreiner, Kihei, Maui, Hawaii. For more than 30 years, we have wanted a high school in Kihei. And around 2010, that really started to happen. And in 2013, the Land Use Commission granted the Department of Education permission to build the Kihei High School on the Malka side of the highway. Unfortunately, all of the people live on the Makai side, the other side. And the reason was that there wasn't enough land on this side of the highway to be able to build it, and what was available was very expensive, whereas the land on the other side of the highway was available and much, much cheaper. However, that presents a problem because now all the students, teachers, everything either have to drive to the school or walk across the highway. So the Land Use Commission in 2013 put in a requirement that the Department of Education had to build an overpass or an underpass before the school was allowed to open. So that requirement was set, as I say, in 2013. Okay, so fast forward, and right now, this is December 2022. The school is ready to open. There has not been either an overpass or an underpass built, and the school is not going to be allowed to open. Instead of building an overpass or an underpass, the Department of Transportation built a 4-lane roundabout at the entrance to the school. This is on a 4-lane highway, a 4-lane roundabout. This is what it looks like. Pretty hard to understand, isn't it? So let me paint you a picture. Okay, this is pretty much what it looks like. The red area or pinkish area, that's the color of the concrete that says don't drive here. The green area is vegetation or will ultimately be vegetation. The gray areas are sidewalks. The yellow area is the one and only crosswalk. And the little red stripes on the yellow are areas where the pedestrians will have traffic behind them and in front of them. And those yellow and red marks will not be on the real situation. So this is from a screenshot from an instructional video by the Hawaii Department of Highways, and you can find this on YouTube and search for Kihei Roundabout. That's not what it's going to look out. I think this is what it's going to look like 2027, 2028, maybe before that. And looking at another view, there's going to be a lot of traffic. And the congestion areas will be in the morning, people trying to get into the high school, and in the afternoon, the congestion will be people trying to get out of the high school. There is no separate lane for right into the high school, nor is there an acceleration lane out of the high school. This is what the pedestrians will be facing, lots and lots of traffic. And this is pretty scary. And if you can imagine someone in a wheelchair or with mobility problems trying to cross 5 lanes of traffic, it's just unimaginable. But the important thing is if you're trying to get pedestrians across a busy highway at highway level, the best thing is to stop the traffic. The purpose of a roundabout is that traffic never stops. Those two things are in direct conflict. So let me explain to you the situation and how we fix that. To build an overpass is extremely expensive, many millions of dollars. And the elevation has to be at least 17 feet high clearance so the trucks hauling big things can get under it. Then you have 3 feet of concrete on top of that, and then you come to the walkway that the students would go across. So now you're at 20 feet. This has to be accessible to people in wheelchairs. So there has to be a ramp. And that ramp is only allowed to raise 1 inch in every 12 inches. So that means that the ramp is 240 feet at least. Okay, and then when you get to the other side, you've got another ramp. That distance is just incredible. And when you have an overpass that's high and requires that much time and energy, people don't use it. That's a problem. Okay, so how about an underpass? Well, this is the situation that we have had with an underpass. There's not enough room under here between the dirt and the bridge for people to walk. It was only about 5 or 6 feet, maybe a little more. It's a real problem. In December 2021, we had a horrendous storm, a Kona storm, and the rain came and the water came and it flooded down in Kihei along South Kihei Road. The mud was like this deep on South Kihei Road. Nobody could move. Everything is closed. Really horrible. So a few months later, the county, who owns 3 acres in front of this bridge, they own that 3 acres. The county came in and they removed 4.5 feet of dirt, of mud. When that happened, there's now a place for some of this to go. So when we had our next rains, this mud, silt, accumulation from 50 years was washed away down into here. So this is the situation that we have right now. And there's 12 feet of clearance under here. Plenty of room to build an underpass walkway if we remove the rest of the dirt. So we take this out. And this would be where our starting point is for building an underpass walkway. Now, it's trivial. Right now it is very easy to do this. We put in some posts like this. This is a concept that I give you. This is not a design. And then we take some type of existing metal, some structure that's from the shipyard or from the military or from one of the closed sugar mills. There's some right down the street from where I live. But we just take the metal or whatever structure and we put that under here and we build that. Like so. Then we have to add a guardrail. What we envision here okay, then we put on some wood to cover that steel frame, and bingo, we have a walkway under the bridge. This clearance I envision as being 7 feet. We have over 12 feet, just a little. Okay, so this would be about 7 feet, and then we have about 5 feet of clearance between the walkway and the bottom. And people say, well, what about when you have a flood? When we have water that's coming through this bridge, it only comes through like this deep. We've got 5 feet here. And what we do here has no impact on what happens down in Kihei on South Kihei Road. It doesn't make any difference. It won't make it any better. It won't make it any worse. Just the same. So we can do this. Remove all of this mud and dirt, silt, and then build this. And of course we need to have a way to get to this. So this is a ramp that goes from this walkway up to grade level, up to street level. And this is wheelchair accessible, same thing on the other side. That's great. It's cheap, it's easy, and will only take a few months to do it. Not taking into consideration the permitting process. Okay, so this is pretty cool, but we still have a problem. How do the kids or teachers or anybody get from that side of the gulch over to here? Are they going to walk through here? No. Are they going to walk on a highway? This is problem number 2 that has not been addressed. The walkway, the pathway on this bridge is 3 feet wide. Only 3 feet. Can you imagine children walking across this 3 feet between traffic and a concrete wall? That's not good. That's inconceivable. So what would they do? Well, in reality, the Department of Transportation has no option but to close that lane of highway so that now the kids can walk over in here. That fixes the problem, huh? No, it doesn't. The problem we have now is that these cars are going to be paranoid, even more so than before, or maybe they say paranoid of hitting these kids. And we still have the problem with kids next to the traffic. So what happens, could happen, would happen, is the people in this lane are very much afraid, and they are watching the kids. And what happens is you have what's called an offset crash, like this. And when that happens, these cars spin like that. And now you're going to have spinning cars on the bridge, and then all the cars running into them. That's not going to work. We can't live with that. And the Department of Transportation and Department of Education have not come up with a solution. So this is what we need. What we need is a walkway that goes outboard of the bridge. So this is, okay. This is easy to do on model. A bit harder to do in real life. But the concept is to put in an outboard walkway like that, so that the pedestrians can come across, go right on here onto the walkway. Or this walkway could be made to go at the same level and come out over here. Doesn't make any difference. It's a concept. We have to get the kids off of the bridge and separated from the traffic. That problem has not been addressed. What I want you to do, please, to fix this, we can do this, is we have to get the DOT and the DOE to work together on it. And they're not doing that. So you have to write to the governor, Governor Josh Green, at this address, Kihei HS Underpass at gmail.com. Okay? Kihei HS Underpass at gmail.com. And encourage them to build the underpass. That's the first thing we have to do. We have to get the funding and the impact to build the underpass, then we go for the walkway. Okay? Write those letters. Let the governor know you care about this situation. Mahalo.